YouTube was good. It's your boy Paul says, aka Crazy Uncle. Hey, guess what? This your first time tuning in. Go ahead, hit the doggone subscribe button, hit notification bell, and time I post up new content. Well, we still here. Uh, I actually like where if you saw the previous video, right when uh, I ended it, then I cut off everything. I undid the Wi-Fi, I undid the TVs and shit. So, and then I did it like 10 minutes before time, and then I actually like really kind of waited a little bit because, and even now, right? I'm just like, what makes us think that these motherfuckers won't actually like really double back and be like, oh, everybody else that didn't get the signal? So I mean, but at this point of the juncture, I'm just like, hey, look, if they get me, they get me. I really ain't too fucked up, you know. Still got my tasty beverage. I really refilled this motherfucker while all of the madness, so-called madness, was going on. So, but here's the thing, people, and I'm only saying this because I'm older than some, right? And then it's a lot of shit that I actually like really still remember. Because I can remember, during school, you know, it was this motherfucker would come out and be holler about, they'd be like, well, motherfuckers would they would try to predict the end of the world, right? And and for the most part, it actually really made news. And I'll never forget it. It was like it was one motherfucker after another, and they come on here and they try to predict the the, the end of the world. Because I remember it was one year. I think I was in, I want to say, eighth grade. I think, and this motherfucker, right? Hold on, because I gotta write this shit down. Because again, like a lot of times, especially like back then, the Cold World, the Cold War, so-called Cold War, was still going on, right? And so tensions between us and what was then called the Soviet Union, or what is still called the Soviet Union, right, was at its peak because you had uh, World War I, World War II, right, and then you had the so-called the Korean War and all that kind of shit. So, I mean, it's almost like, okay, you know, all that shit was like, okay, well, everybody was up in the air, and then that's when the whole credit card scheme came about, and like say, I actually really talked about this on my other channel, where that I actually like was like, okay, hey, look, blah blah blah. This I want to call it, I think I called it history of the world if I'm not mistaken. But in either case, right, it was this one guy, right. I never get this. I never get this shit. You know, he actually like really took the numbers 1 through 9 or 1 through 10 or whatever, right? And this motherfucker, he took all of the numbers and he actually like really said that the end of the world was gonna happen on December. It was gonna be December I want to say it was like at, but he did something, and whatever it was supposed to be at 11 o'clock that morning, right? And so everybody in the classroom, including my English teacher, right? Because we had actually like really, she had already then put the lesson out because a lot of and then if you actually really want to believe it, a lot of motherfuckers was like, well, shit, why teach a class when this motherfucker gonna say that, hey, look, at 11 o'clock, it's finna be over with any goddamn way, right? So we all sitting in class and we sitting up there, we looking at the clock or whatever. And so when 11 o'clock comes, then shit happened. And so the bell rung, and then, then it was like, okay, back to original programming, just like now, right? And so now, this motherfucker now, he like a laughing stock. So they brought him back and like, hey, motherfucker, what happened? And he goes, then like all the rest of them, they was like, well, my calculations, I didn't calculate it quite just right. And, I was like, motherfucker, just say you didn't know. You wanted your little fucking 15 minutes of fame. You got it. Shut the fuck up and come. And for the most part, I really didn't. I don't think nobody else heard from it. No more after that. Right? So now let's fast forward to what the fuck just happened. Roughly 20 minutes, well, almost finna be 30 minutes ago. Right? I mean, we've been knowing about this for some weeks now. But I got it. But I'm at this particular point. Now, granted the fact, I really wasn't paying attention to what happened a few years back because the same shit happened when Trump was in office. A signal was put out with the phones, and and I was just like, me and everybody else was like, well, why are you sending shit to the phone, right? The goddamn horn is enough. The TV is enough. Why you want to send this shit through my phone? Right? Motherfucker, you already know where I'm at. So, but now, I mean, like I said, I would actually really have to go back and really look at what the fuck happened. And it was in October. Just like this shit here happened in October. This is October and this didn't happen again. So now I'm almost like, okay, what the fuck is actually really going on here? Right? McCarthy is out of office, then this shit happens. But we already knew that this shit was going to happen. A lot of us really didn't know that McCarthy was going to get ousted. Right? So in our case, right? This shit did happen. Right? And so now my whole deal is, everybody holler about, because like I said, I've been watching this shit on TikTok or with the TikTok reactors, right? And even Dane Calloway, he had his little piece in it. And so my whole thing now is this: psychological warfare. Psychological warfare, right? That's a motherfucker. It really is, because, and the only reason why I said it is because, and it's like what I said in the little short that I did. It's like, okay, I'm steady constantly beating your head, right? And then after a while, you're gonna start ducking, right? And so now I think what the United States government has done is that motherfuckers just beating your head, right? Now motherfuckers are ducking. So now it's almost like soon as these motherfuckers come in the room, we okay, and so for the most part, I mean, now, great the fact, hell, I duck too, but I'm just like, okay, what the fuck is really going on here, right? Has it gotten this bad that some of us are so goddamn paranoid that we're ducking but we don't need to be ducking? So I'm just like, so again, it's like, okay, so let's actually this, and again, right? This is almost like how it was after World War II, right? It's almost like what Chuck D said on one of his songs, right? He's like, the war may be over, but the fussing ain't. So World War I happens. World War II happens. Then treaties are signed, but motherfuckers are still bickering. And so from the 50s up until, let's just say, the start of the 80s, American products were the front runner, right? Because you got to understand something. Japan Japan and Germany were in shambles. So you do that, and so of course you're gonna be the goddamn front runner because they too busy trying to repair shit. But then what happens is it like this, right? Listen, the war may be over, but the fussing ain't. If indeed there was any fussing or war to begin with, right? It's just like what I said about the whole government shutdown shit. Motherfucker holler about, oh, we're gonna shut the government down. And I'm like, what the fuck you gonna shut it down for? Oh, because the country can't pay its bills. And I'm like, okay, so when has the government ever paid its bills? August 15, 1971. I always tell y'all this. So again, I'm looking at this. So I'm looking at this, the shit that just happened. Right? I'm looking at this and I'm just like, okay, you know what? These motherfuckers might have just said, you know what? We got these motherfuckers believing that a monkey can fuck a football and produce offspring. Right? So let's go ahead and say, hey, look, October 4th at whatever time frame that shit is, we gonna put out a signal. And so motherfucker be like, let me cut my phone off. Let me unhook that damn thing. And 9 times out of 10, shit probably didn't happen. Now, my wife, she called me. So she got the motherfucking buzzer. But I told her I told her to look, wrap that shit up before it happens. Right? So, but and I wrapped mine up and I put it on my lap because I cut it off. Then I put it on my lap because I just want to be like, okay, well, because motherfucker holler about, okay, well, they say, well, yeah, you can cut your phone off, but it's really off. So I cut it off and then I wrapped it. I wrapped it in foil, right? So, because I'm just saying, like any type of motherfucking Amber Alert, I mean, but to actually really stop and think about it for a minute, I might have. Hold on, I think I when that shit happens, are you to cut that shit off because emergency SOS? Okay, but my whole deal is I get tired of that shit, because every time a child come up missing, which that's another time I gotta talk about. They was like every time when a child come up missing, that damn when a child comes up missing, or say like if an elderly person comes up missing, then the damn buzzer go off. Then I was like, and, then eventually, yeah, you end up cutting that shit off because I mean, you be like, okay, you try to do so, you try to watch TV, and then the damn thing go off, and for the most part, for like this, with all of the stuff that goes on when motherfuckers get kidnapped, especially kids, 9 times out of 10, we already know what the fuck is gonna happen to them. Now, unless you like this 9-year-old that they were talking about this morning. So the thing about it though, they was like, okay, well, the little 9-year-old she missed. They nobody know where the fuck she was at. you know, they nobody know where the fuck she was at. Then the thing about it though is this: the person that kidnapped her gonna do a note, put it in the mailbox, and so now here come they done dusted it off, so they got fingerprints. So then they tracked the fingerprints to they ended up knowing the folk. Apparently, it really wasn't too far from where the girls stayed. So now my thing is, okay, was he already a criminal? I mean, because here's the deal. And then again, unless shit done changed, right? Right? Unless you've been arrested, ain't nobody finna have no goddamn fingerprints on you. Okay? So I'm just like, so if this guy, so then again, here's something else, right? You gotta be like, okay, so what was this guy's record previous to that? Now, if I'm missing something, then okay. But I'm just looking at the fact, okay, how they know that if you don't have fingerprints on this guy already? I mean, because like I said, unless you get arrested, ain't nobody finna have no fingerprints on you. So the girl gets kidnapped. So he does a ransom note. They trace it back and they find the motherfucker. And I'm just like, okay, how that work? Again. Now, if this guy's already been fingerprinted, okay. But then again, I'm just like, what happened to the motherfucking what is it? The sex offenders. Was this guy already a registered sex offender? Hold on. Matter of fact, let's do this. 9-year-old girl. Okay. So 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 here it is. 9-year-old girl found safe in New York. Suspect in custody. Okay, so let's do this. So it was. So here it is. So so she went missing. She's riding a bicycle. And see, and here's another thing too, right? This is how you know shit is bullshit because so she riding a bike, right? So she get kidnapped. Now when you kidnap somebody, you ain't got time to motherfucking put no bike on no damn kickstand, right? Now unless and so and then again you could be like, okay, well, again, the man he probably said, hey, look, blah 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 blah. So she put her bike on the kickstand. Then she go over there. So here's the deal. So again, I'm looking at the mama and everybody else. What the fuck y'all been teaching this child? Right? What in the fuck have y'all been teaching this child? Because unless they've been under a rock some damn where, you teach your child or children, hey, look, don't talk to no motherfucking stranger. But apparently she did. So they said, so Craig Nelson Ross, that's the guy. So he said he placed a ransom note in the mailbox. So they say they fingerprinted it and said the fingerprint was rested to a link. Okay, so so again, I'm just like, so he wasn't a sex offender. But it was like, okay, he got caught drunk driving. Okay, so again, I'm just like, okay, so that actually really clears up what I said earlier, right? I was saying, unless you've been arrested, ain't nobody finna just have your motherfucking fingerprint. But then again, but even with that, right? I'm still looking at the fact, okay, so whatever happened, like, hey, look, don't talk to strangers, right? Because my understanding is almost like chances are. Hold on, damn it, let me bring it back up. Shit, because I'm just looking at this and I'm like, okay, so did they know this motherfucker? Did they really know? I'm almost about really to say he's because they said match fingerprint. So I'm almost like, okay. So this, hold on, let's do this. So they said if Monday morning when state police monitored Charlotte's family home, Greenville, New York, noticed a car approach and someone believed to be Mr. Ross. Oh, okay. Wow, really? So again, these motherfuckers ain't telling, right? So I'm almost, you know what? This is almost as bad as the Carly Russell person where she said, "Oh, well, I see a little toddler on the side of the road." And so I'm like, okay, so you know the motherfucker that saw this 2-year-old on the side of the road. Then you gonna say you got kidnapped by aliens. So this is just as bad. I mean, I'm just like, okay, so I'm just like, okay, so damn, mom, dad, what the fuck? Y'all didn't teach y'all child not to talk to strangers. Because apparently that's what the fuck happened. Because they said, because unless I heard it wrong, which I know I didn't, they found the bicycle and said the bicycle was up on the kickstand. But your child been kidnapped. Where did they do that at? So again, that child didn't get kidnapped, and I give a damn who thinks that I'm fucked up about it. But it's just for the simple fact that, come on now, right? For like, look, motherfucker get kidnapped, right? You taking away every goddamn thing, bicycle and all, right? And but then again, I'm just like, okay, you kill, so you kidnap, so I don't know nothing about kidnapping nobody. I ain't trying to kidnap nobody. Ain't nobody finna kidnap me. Paulus Harris a grown ass man, right? So, not to say that I couldn't be kidnapped, right? I figured if somebody want me, well, like this, if somebody want my little ugly broke ass enough, I guess yes, it's possible, right? But I'm like, don't nobody want me. What the fuck can I do for you? Like, seriously. I don't talk to strangers. Hell, I barely talk to my own damn family. So, so, all I'm saying, look, people, that's some old bullshit if it ever was. Just like this October signal shit was bullshit. And the government did it once again. They were like, look, watch these we gonna cut the light on and watch these bastards run like watch these bastards run like rats and roaches. And yeah, at this point in the junction, guess what? I'm either a rat or a roach because I did it. But hey, look, I mean, the signal did go off. Because my wife told me. But then again, I might have to go look at her, right? So, but look, people. No, I ain't finna do my wife like that, but I'm old paranoid motherfucker though. But hey, look. It is what it is, people. So for those of y'all that actually really went through this shit, then good for you. And I'm clapping for myself too. But I'm just like, okay, if we didn't do this shit when Trump was in office, why the fuck we doing it now? So is it like, okay, well, we gonna believe every goddamn thing that Trump say and fuck what Biden say, right? So again, this, you can look at this shit like, hey, it is what it is, people. So with that being said, guess what y'all get to do? Tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell Big Dan, tell Big Bertha, your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your papa. Motherfucker next door across the street by the corner, Paulus Harris, aka Crazy Uncle. I'm gonna holler at y'all.